So hi guys, so from today's video we would be starting another series in machine learning and TensorFlow. That is, we would be starting with the MLOps part, the production part and deployment part in machine learning. So this is the starting video, the basic introduction to what is ML production and how things work here. So one thing that I want to clarify is that we would be covering all the part. We would be covering in depth each and every TensorFlow thing, that is TensorFlow serving, TensorFlow deployment, all the session parts we would be covering, and we would be even covering some frameworks for deployment like Kubeflow or Apache Spark. So yeah, this is how we are going to move forward in the series. The next video is going to be about the data part, how to understand data, the data visualization in detail, and how data is important in machine learning production. So let's start with the introduction. So I would just start with a very basic example. Suppose we have designed an application, a very basic application that tells whether a particular picture, and it gives you the correct option out of these two, and it takes you take a picture of a cat, and the application tells you it's cat. You take an application a picture of dog, it tells you it's a dog. But just imagine the data you have given to your model, the particular data you have given to your model, which is in the production phase, which is working in the application. All the data that you have given, that is either of cat or that is either of dog. Is your data sufficient enough to provide the future production part also? Just imagine, suppose there were 5,000 images of cat, 5,000 images of dog. Both of them comprised 5,000 each. So I would just write 5,000 each. So yeah, your data comprises of 5,000 the images. But is that sufficient enough? The thing is that, and now imagine you took a picture of a dog that was in a dim light. All the images that you give to your machine learning algorithm were properly taken in sunlight, or proper lighting sources were there present at the moment of capturing the image. But now you give an image to the system which has really dim light. There is no actually, you can expect there is not a proper source of light in that image. So would at that time your application crash or fail to detect that either that is a cat or dog? What would happen at that time? Just you can think about it. So if you if you have guessed it right, I would expect that you must be thinking that is where a pipeline comes into play. You constantly need to improve your data. Suppose this was something you got as an error, but in future these 5,000 images increased. You give 500 images here, 500 images here. There's a constant pipeline here. This was your application, and there is a constant pipeline. You keep updating your application and model with the recent data and the recent updated model. That is how you move along with technology and move along with time. You need to improve your model. See, 100% accuracy can't be achieved, that is true, but at least maintaining your model and data along with time is something that we can do. So this is how where production comes to play. You constantly need to update it. You need to maintain a whole pipeline in which everything is updated and added. So we would be talking about that. So before moving to the next slide, one thing I want to tell you is that I have taken a lot of things from machine learning production course from Coursera of from the famous professor and my inspiration, Andrew sir. So you are free to go there and use that, and I have used that. All the credits goes to deeplearning.ai for this particular material, because as the inspiration as a student I have also always learned from here, and in future also all the ML part, all the research papers are the inspiration that comes from Coursera and Andrew sir. So let's study this ML project lifecycle. So I would just choose the color here. So what happens? You define a project. Suppose that cat versus dog model. You define the database and establish baseline. You label and organize data. Till here, we all have worked in Colab notebooks. But what after that? You select and train a model and perform analysis error. This is the part we have worked till now. This is the particular part we have only worked till now. Now, this is the new part. I will just mark it as here. This is the new part because you we don't expect these part to be part of a normal Colab notebook because we haven't worked with production part till yet. So what happens? You define a project, you data, label and organize data, and select your train model and see that okay, it's giving us 98% accuracy. If it wasn't giving you 98% accuracy, you would again train the model on some different aspects of point and algorithm. You can improve the algorithm. You can test with the activation and loss functions, the epochs, but eventually you perform till here. But when it comes to the whole project life cycle, all the big companies that work along with a whole pipeline, they work like this only. You perform error analysis here, then you deploy in the production and monitor and maintain the system. This whole part, this monitor and maintain the system and deploy in production is the main part. So what happens is, suppose once you have given your model a particular algorithm and particular data, but you need to maintain, you need to keep monitoring how it's performing. At some point say it is going like this and there's a certain downfall. You need to find out that particular edge case, that what amount of data is coming to our algorithm or model that is not suitable for it, or we need to update or maintain that model. That is where the lag comes. And from there we would move to our next point, that deployment, modeling and data, and optional scooping office or scoping obviously. This is the machine learning operations. ML ops is an emergency discipline and comprises a set of tools and principles to support progress through the ML project life cycle. These three things you need to remember. First, you need to deploy. In the initial phases you deploy it the first time, but the works doesn't end here. You can imagine it's something like this, not only in machine learning but even in other system. If you are familiar with Android development or web development, all the famous applications, suppose you can take that take that as Facebook has its application. It has made an application, but do you think that that application, that Android application, is not maintained now? Is it was it like something like this, that it was made at the first point and now they don't look at it? There is a proper monitor and maintaining system team looking at it. Multiple people, yeah, I guess even hundreds and thousands of people are maintaining and monitoring the system, whole Android app system. Similarly in machine learning, you first deploy the model at first and then you monitor it. You monitor and maintain the system, and the modeling part is done at every aspect where whenever you realize something needs to update. And the data, this is the most important part when it comes to machine learning. You can't do anything without data, and as we have covered in ML theory, data must be good data. Bad data is always bad for the whole model. It doesn't even matter. I would just take explain that to you again. Suppose these are two models made, and this particular model has got bad data. It has got bad data, but it has a very good algorithm. And when it comes to points, you can give it as out of 10 points, it has got only 4 points, and algorithm has got 9 points. But just look here. This data is good, really good, very good actually, and this model is below average, so you can consider it as bad. And it has got 4 points, but the data has got 10 points. Believe me, chances are that this would perform better than this. And just imagine something like this, that this data is only 1 GB, but this data is around 5 GB. This would perform much better than this particular model. This is where data comes into play. Data is everything. you know there is a particular field, data scientist, data analytics, which talks about data only in detail. Now coming to the part that just as ML modeling is iterative, so is deployment. This is your ML model, that data, you experiment with it, you see their analysis, and you again work on it. Same happens with deployment and monitoring. You see the traffic, you perform analysis, and you again put it into deployment phase. So I would just clear this frame, and you can imagine something like this. This is your whole model. This was your whole model. Now particular traffic is coming to it. You are encountering around thousands of requests every day, but out of these 1,000 requests, suppose 95% requests are good, 95% are good, but the point is, the 5% failing request, is that because of the is that because of that particular algorithm, or is that because you didn't give this particular data to your model? That is where you improve the errors. That is where you improve the errors, and you again put that in the deployment phase, and traffic comes, again you see something, and the monitoring keeps going on. This is like a whole cycle. This never stops, because data is infinite. You can't stop data, you can't give your model every aspect of data. So coming to the model maintenance, you can see this is a manual retraining, automatic retraining. So believe me or not, around 60 to 70% of data scientists work on this particular part, uh, that is seeing, maintaining the particular model. And yeah, according to Andrew also, I guess only on one of his video, he told that around 30 to 40% of time of machine learning engineers who goes on this data. You know, you need perfect data, you need a good data set of data. So the model maintenance is also done similarly, that is manual retraining, automatic retraining. So you can imagine like this is a model, and this is another model. So chances are there that this particular model is manual retraining, and this particular model is automatic retraining. What happens is, uh, you have already put up such algorithm that once a week this model would be trained on new data that you are receiving from the server, that you are receiving from the traffic. But this model is manually trained. This model would only work and get retrain or not, basis on what you define. You define that, okay, every time some data I see particularly, then only I will retrain this model, and I will retrain it using some new algorithms. But this, you are automated. You can't do anything change to it, but you can change the data. You know, automatic traffic data it is receiving, things work on that. So this is how this manual retraining and automatic retraining works in deployment and production phase of the whole model maintenance in machine learning and artificial intelligence. So I hope you have got an idea what is ML production and how huge this part is. We would be starting with this phase. You know, this actually scoping is going to be initial, but yeah, we would be talking about that only. So but the next video is going to be about it, data, define data, establish it, label and organize data. This is the most important part, and most of the time of data scientists and machine learning engineers goes on this, because data is, believe me, everything you need for AI and ML. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you and have a nice day.